Hi everyone, welcome to this video tutorial on how to create an Angular application and configure the Syncfusion Angular Bullet Chart component in it. Using the Angular Bullet Chart, you can compare the values of two measures. In this example, an individual's completed story value is compared to a target value. In this video, you will see how to configure a few of this component's basic features, like setting an actual and target value, minimum and maximum and interval values, and a title, subtitle, dimensions, and a tooltip. I will also show you how to enable a legend and change the orientation. Let's start with the application creation process. First, I initialize my app using the Angular CLI. I will use VS Code as the editor and show the output in the Chrome browser. In VS Code, I install the CLI tool globally using the npm install global Angular CLI command. Then, I create a new Angular project using the ng-new command and provide the app name, my Angular project. I am asked to add Angular routing and enter no. Then I choose CSS as the stylesheet format. I navigate to the location where my new project has been created. To start using the bullet chart component, I install the bullet chart package using the command ng-add Syncfusion EJ2 Angular Charts. Before going any further, I need to register the Syncfusion trial license key. I open the main.ts file and import the register license method from the Syncfusion EJ2 base package. Using this method, I register the Angular trial license key. From 2022 Volume 1 release, the trial license key is mandatory for Angular products to avoid a licensing warning. To see where to generate a trial license key, check the video description below. Next, I navigate to the app module page, where the bullet chart module has been imported from the Syncfusion EJ2 Angular Charts package and registered in the imports array of the ng module. I don't require any additional modules, so I remove all of them. In the app.component.html file, I replace the default code snippets with an EJS bullet chart tag. Let me run this project using the command ngserve. By default, the bullet chart component is rendered with a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 10, with the interval calculated based on the chart's height and width. In this example, I will illustrate sprint planning data, where I compare individuals' completed story points to their target story points. To compare these in a bullet chart, I need to bind an actual value and a target value. I declare the variable sprint data and create an object with the fields, required stories and completed stories, with values of 20 and 25, respectively. I also assign the name David. The completed stories field denotes the current value, while the required stories field denotes the target value. Next, I assign this object to the data source property. I add the value field property to show an actual bar or feature bar, and assign the data source field completed stories to denote the current value. Additionally, I add the target field property to show the target bar, and assign the field required stories to denote the target value. To set the appropriate tick interval, I set the minimum story point value to 5, the maximum value to 45, and the interval value to 5. Now, the bullet chart component is rendered with a minimum value of 5 and a maximum value of 45, with an interval of 5. The target value denotes 20, and the current value denotes 25 story points. You can add multiple data points to the bullet chart. Here, I have added other objects with the same fields. This is how the bullet chart now renders. As you can see, there are multiple data points, and it appears cluttered. Let me show you how to increase the dimensions of the bullet chart so that the data points are shown properly. To change the size of the chart, you can use the built-in height and width properties. Set the width to 80% and the height to 400 pixels. Now, the chart dimensions are fixed. Notice that multiple data points are displayed, but it can be difficult to recognize which data belongs to which individual. To address this, I will show category labels in the bullet chart data. To do that, I add a category field property and map the name field from the data source. Now, the bullet chart shows the name category of each data point. To clarify at a glance what kind of data is being displayed, I need to set the title and subtitle. I add the title property, set its value to sprint planning, and then add the subtitle property and set its value to estimated in story points. Now, the bullet chart renders with the title and subtitle. I can also categorize story ranges according to user performance standards. By adding ranges, you can use different color tones to represent good, bad, and satisfactory ranges. To achieve this, I add the eBullet range collection to specify the list of ranges and customize each range's endpoint and color. I add the eBullet range tag to specify the details for a single range. The endpoint of the quantitative range is specified using the end property. I set its value to 25. In the same way, I add the other ranges. Here, the minimum value is considered the starting point of the first range, and the previous range endpoint is considered the starting point for other ranges. Then I add the color property to set the custom color in each range. I set different shades of blue. See now, the bullet chart renders with 3 ranges and has custom colors for each range. These ranges display the qualities of good, bad, and satisfactory on the bullet chart scale. You can indicate more clearly the actual and target measures with a legend. I open the app module file, import the bullet chart legend service from the Syncfusion EJ2 Angular Charts package, and inject it into the provider's array of the ng module. Then, I declare the variable legend options and set the visible property to true. I assign this variable to the legend settings property. Now, the legend is enabled in the bullet chart. Let's see how to customize the tick lines. The scale includes 2 types of tick lines: major ticks, which are the primary scale indicators, and minor ticks, which are the secondary scale indicators that fall between the major ticks. I don't need minor ticks, so I remove the minor tick lines by defining a variable, minor tick, and set its width to 0 pixels. Assign this variable to the minor tick lines property. I declare major tick variable and set the color of the major tick lines to blue. Assign this variable to the major tick lines property. Now, the minor tick lines have disappeared, and the custom color is applied to the major tick lines. To provide additional information, I'm going to enable a tooltip. I import the Bullet Tooltip service from the Syncfusion EJ2 Angular Charts package and inject it into the provider's array of the ng module. Then, I declare the variable tooltip settings and set the enable property to true. I assign this variable to the tooltip property. Now, the tooltip is enabled in the bullet chart. Finally, I'll show you how to change the orientation of the bullet chart. By default, it's horizontal. If I include the orientation property and set it to vertical, the bullet chart renders vertically. In this video, I have shown you the basic features of the bullet chart. To explore more features, please refer to the documentation page linked in the description below. Today, you have seen how to configure the Syncfusion Angular Bullet Chart component using the Angular CLI tool and the Syncfusion EJ2 Angular Charts package. I also showed you how to configure a few of the control's basic features. You can download a working example of this from the GitHub link in the description for this video. I've also included a link where you can see if you're eligible for our community license, which will provide you with a free license key to use our products. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel.